quickly. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hi. It's been a while. As I was saying a few minutes before, we are really happy and I am really grateful to receive Elsa M'Bala, and it's a beautiful way to finish this day and this public program we try to organize around the exhibition. So thank you, Elsa, to be here. I will let you introduce we will experiment now. I just want to say thank you again, and thank you to IFA team also to make it possible. And this is a dream, right? So welcome in our dream. And please.
Merci beaucoup. Merci Aïcha, merci Nicolas, merci Alia qui est quelque part. Salut. Alors, moi, je suis Elsa M'Bala, pour ceux qui ne connaissent pas. Vielleicht auf Deutsch? Ich weiß es gar nicht auf Englisch. Ich bin total verwirrt. Let's do English because it's international. So, we are in Berlin. So, my name is Elsa M'Bala. I am a musician, guitar player, singer-songwriter, and neuerdings cassette DJ. So, that's what we're going to do today. I was invited by Aïcha for this public program to kind of introduce my new practice. I've been playing guitar as a one-woman band with electronics for 6-7 years, and for the last, I think longer actually, maybe 10-12 years. And for the last 5 years, I've been working with museums, mainly European museums, where I have the chance to kind of dig through their audio material and to do composition for exhibition, but also just rework the audio material that they have. Many people don't know that museums actually do have also, except from visual art, they also have audio work, actually, you know. One museum that I've been working with a lot is Humboldt Forum. Together we opened a space in Kribi, Cameroon in March this year. So there's a listening space by Kribi. If you happen to be there, have a listen. It's at the Ministère de la Culture et du Tourisme by the beach. So it's a very beautiful room that we were able to renew and basically put a computer in there and put all the audio materials that I was gifted from various museums. So as I said, the Humboldt Forum in particular, because they have an extensive collection of African music, particularly Cameroonian music, and just Cameroonian sound, right? Because they also recorded voice languages that do not exist anymore. Also just random like forest noises, all type of things. So everybody can have access to that. I'm just trying to put it out there if you're interested. Phonogrammarchiv is the Audioabteilung des Humboldt-Forum. That's what it's called, Phonogrammarchiv. And but also in the space that is called Kribi Archive, you can also find work from Musée ethnologique de Genève. There's a very beautiful exhibition happening there right now, Afrosonica, going on until the 1st of January. And I designed or composed the sound piece for the Galerie Sonore. So if you happen to be in Genf, in Geneva, please go check it out. It's a very beautiful exhibition, also retracing the sonic past of Africa, if I may say. A lot of like contemporary sound artists also, or just visual artists, did new work with the material work from the archive. So a little bit of what I've been doing. And in Kribi Archive, you can also find work from the Africa Museum in Brussels. I just currently did a work there with in Lubumbashi, where I was able to receive work from the Verbeek and Mwenya Foundation. Verbeek was a priest in Lubumbashi, and he recorded over 2,000 work, sonic work, mostly singing and dancing from the local population there. So this work in particular, because we have Senegal in the house or in the outside, um, this is my most recent work that I've been doing. And it started with a beautiful project that we did in Dakar in 2023, Talking Object with Isabelle Rabe, who is here today. So while doing this work, where I was interviewing a researcher at the Université de Cheikh Anta Diop. So Cheikh Anta Diop is one of the most prolific African thinkers, and he has his own university in Dakar where he himself also worked before he passed. And the university is just very rich because Dakar was basically the capital for all French colonial West African countries, right? Did I say it right? But you understand what I mean. So basically all the colony owned by France, the capital of that was in Dakar. So there you can find a lot of material from a lot of like French colonies. And it's quite an interesting place also to do research. And while I was there with the project that we also presented then here in Berlin at Kindle last year, I was introduced to this man on the beach. A very funny story. He was selling vinyl himself by the beach. He has like a little stand, and he told me about this old man who is trying to sell his collection of 5,000 cassettes, African cassettes. And at first, to be honest, collectioners don't sell their collections, so I was not very intrigued. I was like, he's just trying to get money. But eventually, I was interested enough to go and visit, and it was quite amazing. This man actually had like les sacs banjok, you say in Cameroonian slang. So these market bags, he had like at least 10 or 15 in his living room, in one room upstairs, full of cassettes. And we were able to maybe throw 3 on the floor, and I was able to dig in, and that's where this come in. So I bought some of the collection. Mainly, the main collection stayed in Dakar because it's also about not practicing extravism on the African continent, because that's what we know and that's what we've been always doing. So I just took a little part of the collection. This is only 25 cassettes. And I've been touring with them for 1 year now. What I do, a listening session, basically, just invite like this. Thank you again, Ifa. Thank you again, Aïcha. Just being invited to places, and basically we listen to a few cassettes and I tell you a little bit about the stories. Some of the artists I know, of course, because little background stories. I grew up in Cameroon and I came to Germany when I was 11. So even doing such a work feels like coming home, and I get to share home with many different people, which is just quite beautiful, I think. Like Aïcha said, welcome to our dream, right? So today I have a collection. I decided to do 5 beautiful artists. We're just gonna start right in before I tell you everybody. But we were listening to one artist just before, that is Moni Bile. So we're gonna continue listening a little bit, and then I will tell you a little bit about him. So, Moni Bile is a Cameroonian artist who was born 1957 in Douala. He began as a bass player. He's a very intricate bass player, and I don't know if you know something about Cameroonian music. We are the bassist of the world. I will not be humbled. So he also was a bass player. And Makossa is the style of music that he played, and Makossa is very well known for the intricate bass melodies and the very rhythmicalities, the way Cameroonian bassists be playing bass. It's what make up Makossa music, basically. You have Richard Bonnat, to name one that is more actual, as one of the greatest also bass player of this time. Moni Bile began his career when he moved to Côte d'Ivoire in 1979. I don't know why I want to. So in 1979, he started his career when he moved to Abidjan. And Abidjan, something also very interesting to know about African music, is Abidjan and Kinshasa were very big capital where, artistically speaking, you would just have a very interesting crowd. So many artists, when they wanted to make it, were moving to places like Abidjan or Kinshasa in Congo. And he was one of them, of course. And he was one of the most influential musician of the 80s. And because of his very particular way of bringing Makossa a new touch, in particular for his, because of his bass playing tricks that he was able to manage. He's still living today in Paris, where he has a webpage and everything. I was actually quite impressed with that. It's one of those cassettes that you could actually find information on. He's still alive, has apparently still a career going on for himself, which is funny because he looks exactly like on this, like he was still dressed like this, just looking much older than then. But he has exactly the same attitude, the same, like he's stuck a little bit in that period because he was very, very well known. And he encountered his success when he met another great Cameroonian bass player and producer, Aladji Touré, which I also heard a lot about while in Cameroon, but I would recommend to listen to Bikoutsi Sans Frontières. The whole album is on YouTube by Aladji Touré. Touré. It's just an instrumental album. And I found that quite interesting because, being a musician and string player myself, I found that when you hear the way that the melody on the guitar would shift, and then compare that to the way people will be speaking to Mashpin Douala, they speak, the way they will be speaking, that's the way they will be playing the guitar or the bass. It's so interesting to hear an instrument do the same thing. So I will send you there because Aladji Touré as well as Mouni Bile are those Cameroonian artists that you cannot not know. So we are gonna move slowly and very smoothly to a woman that I personally also discovered through this collection of Ass Niang Collection. That's the name of the collectionneur. I don't know if I mentioned, but Ass Niang is his name. And that's also the name that I call the collection, just to give reverence, because he inherited the cassettes from his dad, right? His dad, who was working at the port, Hafen, Hafen, ne? Genau. At the Hafen, that's why he encountered like a lot of people would know he would collect, and then people would bring him some things from abroad, because a lot of the cassettes were not published also on the African continent. They were published also a lot in France, in Paris. So we're gonna listen to this wonderful female artist, A.M.E.T, who is from Guinea. Koita, born 1952 in Joliba, Mali. Yes. Ding, ding, ding. Yes, it is. It is Malian music. You have another one from Guinea later on, but this one is definitely Mali music. She's Malinke from the Madinge tribe. So Joliba is approximately 40 kilometers from Bamako, but Mali is very big. It's huge. And a lot of Sahara region, so unbewohnt also a lot. Her mother is from Kirina. Kirina was lieu de bataille. How do you say that? Battlefield. Thank you very much, my international ladies. So, battlefield from the famous Sondiata Keita. He was a 13th century emperor and founder of Mali. He is known also to has been one of the richest men alive at this period, right? Everything was gold in his palace, and he will walk with I don't know how many slaves and cows and thing, and gold is said to just fall from his walking. So people would literally like run after and look for gold wherever he passed. So her mother from Amikoita was from that region, and her brother also Wakamisoko is a writer and griot who also wrote a book called Les Grands Gestes du Mali. So he was a writer and wrote a lot about history book about Mali to inform people about the history. So just from that background, you can tell that she grew up in a very confident household, you must say, right? Because she come from that legacy of like who she is as a Malian, as a woman, and where she coming from. So she, no surprise, when she entered very young the Ensemble Instrumental National of Mali. So it was a group of performers who performed traditional Malian music. She was only 17 at the time. It was the only singer and the only female in the band. She also performed at the Festival des Arts Nègres in 1977 in Nigeria. And she also was one of the winner of the UNESCO gathering for international recognition at her time, which I don't have a time here written down, but I believe it was the 70s, which was the region she was most famous while performing at the time. So Amiqueta is still alive, which is quite beautiful. I always like when I found the cassette and the people are still alive, because you're like, ah. But quite a few are still alive. So the collection of the cassettes is dating from the 1970s until 2000, I would say. So you can find very different and different artists, because the African continent is so enormous, like, and also vast in terms not just of musicality but also in languages and rhythmicalities. And this collection really encompasses the whole continent. So you have music from Mali, but also South Africa, which is like, Ethiopian, which I love. I hope you do too. So we're going to go on to the next prolific artist, which I know many, many, many of you must know. I would not say the name, because then you would just have to listen, which I find more interesting. But I know you know. And if you don't know, you need to Google him. Or Shazam it. Sure. Because he's definitely on Shazam and all those things. There are some that are not, but he's definitely is. Also known as l'avocat défenseur des femmes. For the people who did not understand, that means the official woman lawyer.
George Mundu Telito. Nebakena ngapiko. Basukisa ngana. Basaka koni na ndeta bita bite. Papa plus 5 sur 5.
Ungisanga ngamboteo. Mabeza ya yumeiko besanga fototeo. Yamoko lukaki osaka nungubi. Lelo misabiziki.
Jean-Marie LS.
Ungisanga ngamboteo. Mabeza ya yumeiko besanga fototeo. Yamoko lukaki osaka nanabi. Lelo misabiziki.
Bob Bopesso.
Nabonanga bisakata. Yanga bampase kokale. Lukelanga minonoteo. Yamoko panzaki mpoli otuli. Tambi asa n'importance côté.
Papa Masi.
Nonga moke na pomie. Nanyamoko kasaposo mina papue. Moko mina sanzali waitikali mosika. Ebale nyose nzananga nana yango.
Die.
So if you know Congolese music, you know it's never over even when you think it's over. So this is just starting. This is the part now where you lose your shoes and you go down. So you may or may not know, but this is definitely the one and only Papa Plus Plus, also known as l'avocat défenseur des femmes, Kofi Olomide himself. Kofi Olomide, also known as Antoine Christophe Abepa Mumba, born 1956 in la République démocratique du Congo. Also known as Grand Mapao. I don't know what that means, but it sounds important. He's a singer-songwriter. He has produced over 28 albums. He's known for Dombolo, basically the great grandfather of the twerking that we all know. Dombolo is the originator. I remember as a child we were forbidden to watch Dombolo music, particularly to listen to him. Koffi Olomide has always been the bad boy of the African music. Still alive through various controversy, unfortunately also the very unpleasant ones. He's a wife beater and a woman beater. Yeah, I know. Sad. But I guess the testosterone that you listen in his music is very much present everywhere in his life also. He has been on stage the first time with Papa Wemba and King Kester Emeneya. Papa Wemba is also one of those very important figure in African music. He sadly passed on already, live on stage actually, which was quite tragic. But he's the one who basically introduced Koffi Olomide, or introduced the world to Koffi Olomide back then. And Koffi is also the one who created Orchestre Quartier Latin International, where artists like Fally Ipupa first started. Fally Ipupa recently played in Berlin, if you were there. And he played here, Uber Eats Arena. It was quite full. In December. I like that Berlin is starting to make space for African artists. It's quite amazing. Rima played a couple weeks ago also here, also at the Uber Eats, which is a huge place to feel, right? I mean, for African artists in a German-speaking country who do not speak German. I feel like the change is kind of happening and it's nice to see it and somehow to be part of that. He's the first, Koffi Olomide. He's the first African artist to have filled the concert hall of Bercy with over 20,000 seats. At the time, it was big. Now we see Burna Boy doing major things, but at the time, he was quite big. So just to compare, Olympia Stadium is approximately 70,000 seats. So 20,000 seems like nothing, but in the 80s, it was big when he did that. And at that time, you can imagine in Paris, it was not even possible for people to book such an artist because they didn't think it will feel. But now, you see the things, the tides are kind of shifting and we're happy to be part. We're going to go on to a woman. A woman, as I introduced before a little bit, she's from Guinea. Guinée, so Guinée, I think you say in English, Guinée en français, Oumou Diabata, la femme choc, right? La femme chic choc, sorry, la femme chic choc. And we're going to listen to some of her tracks.
Musolu segeni,
Oumou Diabaté, la Dame Chic Choc, also known as la Dame Chic Choc. I don't know what that means, but I assume it's very powerful. It sounds very powerful. And if you look at the cover, she's like fist up in the air. So she says about this album, Akafo pour toutes celles qui sont uniquement femmes, which I think is quite beautiful, for all those who are uniquely women. That's how she called this album. Is called Femme d'Afrique, and that's what she was saying about the album. It was released in 1997. Alles Deutsch. So this is number 2 of 4 albums that were all released in the 90s. She was, I forgot that very important part. She was born in Cancan. I like that name. It's a city in Guinea, 1964. From her father, who was also a great griot. I didn't know him. Gnamakoro Kante. And she's known to have this mixture, you could listen, of like tradition and modernity. It was quite new, soul, funky. At the same time, she was singing in Mandingue, which is the language that she is originally from. But if you have listened to the last lady we also listened to, she was also in Mandingue, right? But she was from Mali. So many different nations live across different African countries, basically. You know, so you can have Mandingue, as we can see here, in Guinea, and at the same time you have them in Mali, which is a little bit further away, actually. If you look at the map, it's not like close, totally close by. So that's one of those beauties, right? Because you can still listen to the person that is in a different country than you, and she has the similar education, if I may say, cultural background. Yeah, which is quite nice. So she's the former band member of Les Messagers de Morifing Diabaté. Morifing Diabaté, I believe, was a great musician at the time, because I couldn't find so many information about him on the internet. But if you happen to know, let me know. I would love to hear. So Umu Diabate, like the other lady that we listened to, was A.M.E.T, are just a few of the female that you can find in the collection. I invite you, once we are finished, we are almost finished, to look at the collection. Maybe you may recognize one or two names, or Google some of it and maybe find some other things that you can maybe let me know about that I didn't know. I think this is more on an exchange type of situation, because a lot of information, you don't find them on the internet about the artist. So it's more about also maybe collecting our common knowledge about music and creating something nice together. We're going to finish grandiosely, because that's what we do, with one of my favorite artists. And we are not talking African continent or where else. He's just an amazing mind. And he has shaped music globally on so many levels. Unfortunately, he passed during Corona in Paris. But the greatest musician alive and dead have sampled him. He's probably one of the most sampled African artists that ever existed. He unfortunately also didn't always get his flowers, so we're gonna listen together and maybe you recognize. If you do not, don't be ashamed, it's okay. We are here to learn. I'm not shaming you. It's just beautiful to listen together. I like to listen, to make you listen to the beginning of songs always. That's why I pull them back, because the entrance is always very nice. Most of the time, like, yeah, listen. The drop in, as they say, the musicians. You hear something? I hear something, but what is that? Ah, it's something else. No, it's us. It's us. Okay, I have to pull it all the way up. I don't know why, but it's us. It's us. It's him. It's him. Is the cassette there? Natural. That's real. Yeah, it's effect. Good angle. So these are all cassette. At home he was fine. I don't know what y'all doing. Don't say that. Don't say that. Okay, this is not doing him any good. I cannot let you listen to this. No. This is the one and only Manu Dibango, the originator of Makossa. We listened at the beginning, Moni Bile, one of the greatest Makossa players. Manu Dibango is all over the internet, all over YouTube. So that's one of your artists that you can Shazam, Google. You will find a lot of information because he basically introduced the world to Central African music. He was, so he's a Cameroonian musician, right? Saxophone player, mostly known as a saxophone player, but he actually played a lot of instrument. He was also a bass player. He, well, I know you know this song from him, Mama Say, Mama Sa, Mama Kosa. Everybody knows that. From Michael Jackson, angeblich. Michael Jackson basically sampled him without asking him. And at the time he was still alive. He could have done that. It's quite easy at the time. Because in a documentary, he said that he was one of the first African artists to be played in the US and to hit the 100 chart 100. Wie nennt man das? Yeah, chart 100 in the 70s. And you can imagine without internet, without, many people flying even to the African continent, for him to hit the US market that heavy, also made him that famous, fortunately and unfortunately, because he didn't receive any money until he had to basically fight. He had to sue Michael Jackson and the team, and they literally defended themselves, just like, why? What? Yeah, so many years of battle to get basically recognized that he did that track. The same track that got sampled later on by Rihanna, right? We also know that version. She also never mentioned him and that sampling, which is very sad because at this time, internet was there, you could Google, you could find out, and it's one of those things why I believe that also this work is so important, just to bring awareness also to the contribution of many African musicians. There are many stories like this. There are the famous Shakira song also, right? She sampled this famous Cameroonian band, also even played at the World Cup with the song and never bothered to mention them. And the song is exactly the same. So I think that this is important for us to just go through the joy of researching and enjoying new tunes and finding out who actually did the work. And I'm happy to be part of this, but I don't want to let you leave like this without a proper song in your ears, because we cannot finish like this. Luckily, I have my whole... So we're just gonna take one other big African legend, Salif Keita, because why not, And we're gonna finish like this. This was an amazing opportunity to showcase African music. It's really a tip, like a grain of salt, but it's something, right? I hope I was able to give you the vibe and the rhythm and also just a growing appetite maybe for African music and African sound that are taking over the world. I mean, Afrobeats is mainly sampling of old African music, So this is the source, and I hope that I see you or hear you or feel you somewhere around the world. Salif Keita, for your ears. Thank you very much. I'm Elsa M'Bala. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you.